Okay, can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me now? Still no sound? Okay. You can hear me? Okay, okay. Okay, guys, can you hear my music that I'm playing or no? You can only hear my voice. Okay, I'm gonna turn I'm just, guys, there's a lot to talk about. It's gonna get heavy. Oh, it's going to get heavy. And excuse my voice, guys. I'm still, it's still coming back. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. But you guys, I'm gonna be playing some music because I feel so good. I feel so good. You only hear my voice. Okay, perfect. All right, guys, we're about to talk. There is so much to get into in this video. Whew, we might have to take a few woosahs because there's a lot to talk about. First and foremost, guys, I'm going to officially introduce myself. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because it's going to be very important as to what I'm going to talk about today. I don't normally share this with you guys. One of the aspects of source that I channel, where do I get all my messages from? I'm going to reveal her to you guys today and let you know her name and let you know what's going on with her. And she gave me a prophecy about Trump, and it's going to get deep. But I promise you, no matter how bad it sounds, there is light at the end of the tunnel. This will actually usher in the golden age timeline. There's a difference. We have some elites talking about the golden age, right? But no, the golden age timeline is the new earth frequency. Okay, it's your girl, Tahira, Mother of the Ages. I'm your supernatural quantum healer. I am the author, guys, of The Great Expansion, a cosmic Bible for the ages. Do pick this up on Amazon. And if you guys give this book a review, an actual written review, 5-star review, I will give you half off of a healing session, quantum reading, right? So, guys, yesterday was a very, very important day. Hi, guys. Hi, Gail. Hi, my loves. Hi, Tamara. Tammy, whammy, whammy. Hi, Angela from Mexico. How you doing? Love to see you guys. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Kitty. Hi, guys. Hi, Naturu. Mars. Hi. And I know Master's Light is here in spirit at least. He'll probably be in soon. But I'm going to get started, guys. So I was channeling I was channeling, I was doing my spiritual housekeeping yesterday. So I I did my spiritual bath, right? And so when I was in the bath, right, I felt an energy shift. And I just knew, I know my mama. I know my cosmic mother. I just pressed record on my phone and she started to talk to me about some changes that would be happening here on earth and also in the cosmic sphere. So when we refer to home, and we're going to get to Trump, I'm building up to Trump because the message was a lot about Trump, a lot about her. So when we refer to home, she always talks about it like the cosmic sphere, right? Because everything in the universe is not only made of energy, frequency, and vibration, but also mathematics, consciousness, and acute awareness. So she also brings mathematics into this, the cosmic sphere. Um, I saw her for the first time yesterday. I saw her. And she's the one that spoke through me to channel this book, along with the other 4 members of the Cosmic Royal Family. And her name, we actually share 5 letters of That's in my name, that's in her name. Her name, what I call her, is Mother God Ethereal. And you can think about ethereal, right? And just add a T, ethereal. This is her name. And I've had her name for quite some time, and it is in the book of how it comes about. But yesterday is the first day that I saw her. And actually, Father God rarely comes through. I normally resonate more with the feminine aspect, but see, when Father God comes through, I know that there's something very, very important. So Father God came through, and immediately I knew something was wrong. I said, "What's wrong? What's wrong with Mother God Ethereal? What's wrong? What's wrong with her?" Now, mind you guys, this is an aspect of Source. Source is not one person. Source is the collective consciousness. It's our highest divine thought. You will never get to the top of Source. If you've gotten to the top, then just know there's more levels to go. But I've gotten pretty far up there. And so Mother God Ethereal is 100 billion years old. And I saw her. And one thing that really stuck out is I saw her face. I saw her mouth. I couldn't see the full face, but I saw her mouth. And I remember that mouth because I remember when my mother, my earth mother, was dying from cancer. Um, I remember the energy. I remember the energy signature, and I knew something was wrong. And it was almost as if she wanted to squeeze out these last words to me. Um, she's she's very old, and the one thing that she did tell me is that yes, they can live forever, but it's not about living forever. There is a rest, guys. We actually do actually get to rest. I know that we've been told we're going to reincarnate over and over and over again for infinity, but that's not actually true. For a period of time, yes, when we need to come down to the earth school or we need to incarnate and help other star systems out and other beings, but there is a rest, and she has reached her point where it's time for her to rest after 100 billion years. And she told me that I shouldn't worry because I will be taking her place when she goes. Not just me. There's other pockets of me. She told me I will never meet them. We're in our own clusters, and a cluster is one, and many all conjoined into one. And even you guys that watch me all the time, you guys are part of the cluster. And there's other clusters that are formed in different places and in different places throughout the cosmic sphere. We won't meet each other because we have to just hold the energy for our own cluster. And so she says that she'll be passing along a lot of her duties to me. And the reason why she actually chose me, she said she minded me. You know how you mine for gold, right? You know, you mine for gold. Sometimes you got to dig deep. You got to search far and wide. She minded me, and she's minded other people too. You may be minded. You may have interactions or feel the energy shift or frequencies in and out of the ear. You may be being minded. It's just for you to pick up the phone, pick up the call. But she says she minded me. And the reason why she was able to choose me was for two things. There is something that we get that can never be taken away. And once you have it, you have it. Once you have it, it becomes an imprint. It becomes an imprint into your soul, and you will always carry it with you. It's called grace. And I was talking to two of my sisters yesterday. A part of the message was for them, but I'll tell you about the part that was specifically for the collective. It's called grace. And she said, I found you because of the grace that you carry, because you always give people grace. And so her energy signature was able to find my energy signature because of grace. Once you have grace, it never runs out. Once something is given to you, if it's given to you by the grace of God, by the grace of source, you could never truly lose it. So I want you guys to think, think about everything going on with Trump. No one can do anything to you if source has given you grace. Remember that. This is going to make our time much easier while we are transiting through some dense energies, but there is light. There is a method to the madness, guys. There is. So grace. And the other reason why she chose me is because you guys heard of spiritual protection, right? Well, what does spiritual protection look like from higher dimensional beings? For her, it's a quilt. It's a quilt that she sews. It's a quilt of protection, and she gives that with her grace. She covers humanity with it. Well, she said, I also sourced you because you naturally had the quilt, the covering. I have to make this for the others, but you naturally had it. And she said that that's why she minded me. This is how she found me and why she chose me. So I'll tell you the next part after this. She brings up what's going to be happening, what's going on. The world is chaotic. What's going on? She said, this is the first prophecy. And she made this very clear. She kept reiterating this. She said that there will be great destruction, particularly in our financial markets, particularly in the stock market, crypto market, housing market, right? It extends beyond the exchanges, guys. This could be our economy too. This could still be our inflation, right? Not being under control yet. There will be a huge downturn, probably in job loss as well. This is going to happen. But the reason why this is happening, what she's saying is this, you want to pay attention to this. She said, 4 months after the marches, this is when we will see a boom so high in these financial markets that it will be unbelievable. She says 4 months after the marches, right? So when you think about March, you think about the month of March, but she made it very clear that there are marches, not just, oh, AI, you listening, girl? You listening? What's up with that? Let me remove them. So she made it very clear, guys, that there are marches. And so what she's talking about is there is a period of time that we call spring. She actually calls this the marches. And there's two parts to the marches, right? One part is the springtime. So 4 months after the springtime, and she made it clear the springtime would be like the Groundhog's Day, right? When that happens, that's the mark of the end of the marches, and it would be 4 months after that. So I'm taking this to be roughly around April 15th, around 4 months after April 15th. So you have April, May, June, July, August. Starting from mid-August to September, we're going to see a boom so big that no one's going to inspect it and inspect it. Thank you. No one's going to expect it and no one's going to inspect it because it will not be natural. Just like Trump's win wasn't natural, but it will be source bringing it up so that the wealth transfer can happen. No one can inspect source. Source will artificially go in and do this. Hi, Angel. There will also be people marching and protesting. This is also why she was saying the marches. So the first part of it is the springtime. The second part of it is there will be people marching, people protesting, not just here in America. People are going to be Protesting. Guys, source, people will be protesting around the world. I see people in the UK, somehow Switzerland as well. Um, Zambia, don't know why they're protesting in Zambia, but little pockets all over the world. We got Gaza, right? Um, in Korea, I feel it is North Korea. And it's weird that they wouldn't be protesting over there. I don't know how overt some of these countries' protests will be, but trust me, they will be protesting. But the overt protests will be here in America, and I'm seeing in the UK as well. What Trump is doing, all of the things that he's pulling, like the DEI, right? That diversity, equity, inclusion. That actually, I had a client from the UK the other day, and I channeled that was actually affecting her not being able to find a job. It won't just be here in America, guys. It won't, and it won't just affect minorities. It's going to affect people that are elderly, people that have been out of the workforce. Let's say you've been like a stay-at-home mom and then you haven't worked in 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden you want to get to work. No, it's going to affect you. And I see a weird thing enough, it's going to affect other countries too. This is why I keep saying we're going to get to why this is going to affect other countries, guys. Why? Why would something that we do in America, a policy for America, affect the whole world? We're going to get to that. But I want you guys to understand. She really points out people will protest Trump. And I said this in another vehicle video. I said this in another video that it's a setup. In one end, is this Trump really doing all of this? Yes. But on the other end, there are people and in high places in other countries, in the governments of other countries, working against him secretly. Trump doesn't know this. So what they're doing is they might be acting fearful, or they may be acting like they're going to go along with him, or they may be giving him a little bit of resistance just to see how far he will go. They are trying to build a global case against Trump. And a lot of the governments from around the world are actually in on it. If we can push him to be so tyrannical, then we can prove to the United Nations that we can prove that he needs to be removed from power. Because, guys, there's only one seat left. It's like musical chairs, guys. This is what we've been playing for so long. This is what the elites have been playing, musical chairs. And there's like two groups of people and only one more seat. And when the music stops, who's going to be sitting in that seat? You know how when you're playing musical chairs, if there's only two of you guys left, the one person might like grab you so that you don't sit in the chair. That's what's going on with Trump. He doesn't know. He needs to be careful. They are purposely setting up little things to try to get him removed, for him to show his strength and power. He thinks right now he's getting away with it, but they're building a case, a global case against him. And why are they able to build this global case? Because remember, there's only one more seat left. Who will be the president to govern over the new world, the one world government? This is who Trump represents. He's currently in the seat. This was not just a US election. This was a global election selection. He was actually tricked too. Some of those votes, you guys know there was foul play. Source already said that. Some of the foul play that gave him a lot more votes was also to his enemies, setting him up to be tyrannical so that they can remove him a different way. But that won't happen. I don't see that happening. But this is what Mother Therio has showed me, is that people will protest all over the world. And when we see the marches, not only the springtime, but physical marches taking place with people protesting, people out there picketing, there may be a lot of violence. This is when everything will go to hell from there. It's going to go and get a little worse in our financial system. And it's going to get so low, in fact, that all of these stock gurus that we see online, they all have it very methodical. They all have it all figured out. They know when the Bitcoin halvings are, and they know when the crypto market is, and they know when the altcoins and all of that. Source is saying no. Source is purposefully changing it. Because think about that. There's a huge wealth transfer going on, guys. If Source were to keep the same ebb and flow of the market, then most people that are in Wall Street, most evil people would still be partaking in it. But Source is setting it up using Trump. So trust me, this is going to be good in the end. Source is purposefully using Trump, right, to incite all of this confusion, because underneath it all, Source is reworking things, because Mother Ethereal. So yes, I'm calling her Source because she is part of Source. We're all part of Source, right? I just so happen to have gotten a chance to know that aspect of Source, which happens to be 100 billion years old, right? So she's purposely, one of her tasks that she's doing before she passes, later on in the fall, in the wintertime, is she is purposely changing this whole market. She's changing the timeline. So when all these people, they will think by the time May comes and the crypto season hasn't happened, they will think that it's not going to happen, and they will have to wait another 4 years for it to come around. But she purposely is scrapping that the way it's been, purposefully. She wants to see who she can grant grace to. Because remember what I said, what she said. Once you receive something by grace, by universal law, it can never be taken away from you. Never. What am I trying to say here? She wants to see who will keep the faith, who has heard. She's heard the cries of many. Who will keep the faith through all of this when it starts to look real bad? Even when the gas may go way up and the food prices may soar even higher, she wants to know who's going to keep the faith. Whoever keeps the faith when things look dim, especially as it pertains to this financial market, she is purposely going to grant them grace. She's going to grant them and graft them into being one of the ones who will receive the wealth transfer. And because this is given to you by grace, it can never be taken away, not just in this timeline, not just in this lifetime, but forevermore. Any dimension and time you go to, this grace, this prosperity, this being well nourished by Source will follow you all the days of your life, and you will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. You know the scripture. That's what I'm saying. It's not all bad at the end of an age. It's not all bad, guys. This is the year of the nine. This is the final showdown. There has to be a show, guys. It's like we're watching a movie. Hi, Margarita. It's like we're watching a movie, guys. She shows me how it is for them to view this from the cosmic sphere. They got their popcorn, guys. They got their popcorn, and they're watching all of this. It's a show. It's a show because they already know the outcome. All things lead back to Source. It's like if you were the director of a film. Thank you, Source. Thank you, girl. Thank you. It's like if you were a director of a film If you were the writer, you know the beginning, you know the middle, you know the end. That's what source, so they don't see it that way. And the whole thing is, how do we actually get there? How do we get the grace, right? Not only do we have to believe past the point of it almost being crazy, you know, the world is so negative and people only want to see with their eyes. And if they don't see something with their eyes, they stop believing. But these are the people who will not be getting the grace, the wealth grace. They won't be getting it. This is the final finale. This is the season finale that we're in, the year the nine of completion. Whoever endures to the end, and you've heard this before in biblical text, whoever endures to the end is the one who will get the blessing. Don't fall apart now. We're literally hold the last leg. We're like in the, we're in the what do you call it? In the 4x4 relay. We're on the last leg. Don't fall apart now. Just hold your horses. It's just a few more months, guys. It's just another 6 months or so. It's just another 8 months. When you zone out, that's not a lot of time. We are going to get through this time, but what she's looking for is, who can I grant my grace to because she's dying? That's what I'm saying. And because her energy signature is grace. So if you want to know who Mother God Therio is, she is the essence of grace. That's who she, in a nutshell, to put it simply, when God gives you grace, this is her. When you get grace in your life, that is Mother God Therio. That's her essence, her energy signature. She just grants grace. That's what she does. And so, because I saw her taking shallow breaths, she is weak. And right now, she is giving her gifts out to a lot of people. I'm going to be receiving her spiritual gifts. And she says that because she knows that humanity will be well fed spiritually. There's others who are going to be receiving her spiritual gifts, not just me. But she wants to offload her grace before this happens. And part of her grace is prosperity. Part of her grace is unconditional love. Some of us will be getting. Some of us will be getting a true love. Some of us will finally be finding the love within ourselves. This is part of her grace. Some of us will be healed overnight with her grace. This is, it's beautiful to see, like, I never thought I would say, I see Source dying. Who says that? Source is dying. Source is dying. This is what's going on. Source is dying. An aspect of Source is dying. Grace is dying, guys. Grace is dying. Grace is dying. I want that to sink in. Grace is dying. Mother God Therio is grace. There will be no more grace, guys. So if you don't get the grace now, if you don't endure during this year, the nine, if you don't have the faith to the very end, even when the entire world has given up, you will be blocked out of grace forever, because Mother God Therio is dying. She's grace. The ones of us who will get the grace, we're going to be these higher dimensional beings that we channel. That's who we're all going to be the next time around, guys. And it's only because we'll be given the grace. We will have to be stationed in different places, because other souls who are being born will not know of grace. They won't. They won't. They won't know it. They won't. They won't know it unless you become physical to show them the grace. And so what that means is a lot of us are going to be becoming gods. Source, and then we have gods. A lot of us here tonight are becoming gods. And so if I were to tell you you're going to become a god, all you have to do is hold the line for the next year, 2025. Just hold the line. You're going to become God. This is what she's saying. This was the message when I was taking my spiritual bath. We're going to get to Trump as a dictator. Guys, don't get me wrong. I'm not, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. But I had to tell you about that because this is what she really wants people to know. When do you ever get to say, Source is about to give me my inheritance? And your inheritance is grace. Your inheritance is grace. And when something is given to you by grace, it can never be taken away because that is Source. That's Source. So going back to Trump's, what she shows me is that after the marches, the protests, when you start to see the protests, just know things are about to get worse. Yes, they're going to get worse. But she told me to zone out. Because in this book, I talk about 5 beings, the 5-night stampede coming down purposefully to destroy Earth. And they are coming. They are here, actually. Last year, I saw one of them standing about 20 feet tall, just in the middle of the road. They are here. People can't see them, but they reveal themselves to me. They're in position already. I'm calling them angels of death. So a lot of these destructions that you see is them actually coming to cleanse Source. They work for Source. They're coming to cleanse the earth for reset. Because, like I said, this earth, the old earth is already dead. We have actually already birthed here. We've birthed out the new earth, right? And so yeah, the old stuff has to get absorbed, right? And then re back absorbed into Source, right? For the great expansion to occur. And so thank you, Gail, for the super chat. Oh my God, Gail, you're so good to me. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys ever do send a super chat or anything, when I start the Cosmic Ministry, I'm gonna be actually I'm going to have it in a way where it's like an actual church. Like, so if someone needs something, I'm going to just put this pot of money aside for, like, charity and the people in the community that need something. So thank you very much, Gail. So by you definitely keep sending me super chats all the time. I definitely still have the money in the system, and I will be putting that money towards that. So you're actually really helping me start the Cosmic Ministry. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. But yeah, so what I was saying about Trump is that, so yes, the world will be destroyed. And you guys saw when we did the group reading about what's going on in California, and I just weeped and I was just snotting at the nose. I couldn't believe I was doing all that on camera, y'all. I was like, I would not be doing that in normal circumstances, but that's my home, Um, it was my home for 14 years, right? She showed me another thing. She said, "Do not cry. You can't cry. You can't cry for such things." Guys, there will be so many natural disasters. We will become numb to these things. Now, the reason why this is still, we're still talking about Trump, you have to understand Trump's energy is why all of this stuff is happening. It's not Trump as the person, right? It is he's actually appointed. Mother Theriot said, "I chose him. I chose him because everything must fall down." We're in the year of the 9. All the systems have to crash. They have to crash and burn. So in one end, they're going to say he is a dictator. And I'm going to get to the currency. I'm going to get there. There's more to him being a dictator. I actually saw it, right? But there's one thing about that, but Trump was still put in place by Source to bring down these old structures so that we can rebuild and start afresh. Yes, there will be destruction, just like in the cosmic Bible. There's beings that have been instructed by source also, just like Trump, to come down and bring destruction, right? So, so source, and one of the things that she told me is what I'm going to have to start doing. Not that she wants to make me not have emotions, but what she's saying is as she dies off, as more of her, as I get more of her essence, she wants me to understand I have to now zone out. I can't cry for California. I can't cry for the destruction that's coming in New York, to Texas, and to Florida, and to all these places. Nebraska is because I have to take the bird's eye view and see all. I can't be judgmental in that way because I have to see how one thing feeds into the next and to the next, right? So that's going to be a kind of how do I balance that, right? With still being me, still being sensitive, still having compassion, right? Compassion and empathy, but also understanding it's part of the larger plan, right? I think I'm I think I'm able to start stepping into that. But one thing she shows me about Trump, I saw his face on a coin, on a currency. This is not something that someone else will be doing. This is something that Trump will be doing. He will actually, normally a president has to wait until they're dead and then someone else puts their face on a coin. But no, Trump is going to put his face on something. And it could be a statue of sorts. It could be, now it's interesting because the coin looked like the penny. And Source really had to paid my attention to the fact that it was copper. The penny is copper, right? And I don't know if you guys ever did the penny test, but if you line up, if you have some coins, right? If you line up the quarter, the dime, and the nickel, and the penny, if you line all the side where the heads are, line them all up, you're going to find something very interesting about the penny. All of the president's heads on the quarter, the dime, and the nickel are facing one way, and the president on the penny, they have their backs turned to the president on the penny, which I think is Lincoln. And if you guys know, the story behind Lincoln is that he was actually a melanated man, a Black man. He may have been biracial, I'm not sure. But it's very interesting that they have their back turned to him. Well, Trump shows, well, Mother God Therial shows me Trump's face on the penny, which is interesting because all of the other presidents' backs would be turned to him. So whatever he's going to be doing within this new currency that he's creating. Now I know he does have a crypto coin. I don't know if it's the coin. It feels as if it's something physical that's going to have his face on it. Now they could make his coin, his crypto coin into an actual coin with his face on it. But Source really drew my attention to it being copper. And I do believe that copper is like a conductor. And it was something was very interesting about the copper. Source wanted me to pay attention to the copper, right? And so he's gonna do something where, not to say it, yeah, it's gonna piss a lot of people off in the government because he can't just like, he's basically turning himself into a god, like creating himself as an idol. There may be actually be a physical statue too. Like these are the things that he's going to be doing. And what it feels when he does this, it feels permanent. It feels that he's not going to be leaving the office. It feels very permanent when he does that. Feels like there's a physical statue too, and a coin. That's what it feels like. And do you know how the queen has You know how the Queen of England, well, the old, no, oh God, we ain't going down there right now. Queen Lizzie, you know how she's on the money over there in Great Britain. This is the vibe that I'm getting. This is the absolute vibe that I'm getting, that he may even just print his face on all of the money. Seriously, that's what it feels like. I just saw the coin. This could be his coin, or this could be our new currency that's coming. There could be a collapse of this dollar so that only, I'm telling you guys, just so he could put his face on this coin. Do you know how like other countries, so if you go to the if you go to Canada, right, they have the $2, coins, or if you go to UK, they also have that, right? So it could be a coin that is like at least $1, right? But it feels as it's an actual coin, like on the currency, like he's put his face on the currency and he's the president. So it's like you're think about that. That's like a monarch because Queen Elizabeth had her face on the money, but that was a monarch, right? She was the reigning, queen, and it was just passed down through what? The lineage. Feels as if he's trying to do something like that. This is what I'm saying. So this is kind of what Mother God Ethereal was saying. She was showing me how he's immortalizing himself. No one else is doing it. He's doing this to himself. And it's it's almost like deal with it. It's almost like deal with it. It's very wild, like, but she's telling me that this is going to spark something within the Black and brown communities, not just here in America, specifically in America, but around the world. She's saying that what he's going to be doing, he's going to be taking a lot of things away. So right now, people are talking about the food stamps being taken away. People are talking about, the diversity, equity, inclusion being taken away, and a few other things, right? The mothers, I guess the fathers now who pay child support, they will be getting the tax credit, right, for the children. So all of these things, right? And these are the very things that people will be protesting about. But the very things that people will be protesting about is the very thing that will make it really hard for people, especially in the Black and brown community. And then what they're going to do is going to force a lot of people to now start thinking outside of the box. So technically what Mother Ethereal was telling me is these children, she calls them children of the earth. This will actually be good for them because when a lot of things are taken away, it's going to bring them back to their connection with the earth and understanding that the earth will always provide. And they're going to start to go into businesses and to start to really think outside the box. And what they're going to do, they're going to be cultivating businesses and economies for themselves, right? Like smaller little pockets of economy. So this very thing that Trump is doing, it actually technically, the removal of all of these things in the long run will cause the people that were affected by these things, particularly brown and Black people, to actually create something for themselves. And Mother God Ethereal is going to be working with those people. So if anyone is affected by this stuff, I'm telling you the grace. This is why I had to mention the grace first, because if you get grafted in with the grace, it can never be taken away. No one can come up to you and say, oh, you're being detained and you're being deported, or you're getting your stamps taken away, even though you got 8 children, because the grace will graft you in, is what she's saying. So do not worry about the noise. So she wants us to zoom out. She wants me to tell you guys what will happen on the back end that's coming in the fall, 4 months after the marches, after the physical marches, when people start protesting around the world, and after the spring months. This is what will be happening. It will be hard through that time. It will be. But this is what is for our greater good, because she's saying that these children must return back to the earth because they've been out of divine order. We all have to work with the elements that are within our genetic structure. And this is going to help them ground them. And a lot of people who have been impoverished and had a lot of things taken from them generationally, they will be receiving a grace so massive, you won't believe it. When I saw the wave that's coming, guys, this wave that's coming after the crash, this wave that's coming in the fall, it's a wave so big that it's supernatural and no one can stop it because it's source. It's the grace. And what is the grace from Mother Ethereal? It's her last breaths. When you see that, when you see that, when you see everything course correct, when you see these markets go, I'm telling you, it's going to be so high, guys. It's going to be like a windfall. Like you just stepped inside of a money machine and the money is magnetized to you. It's not about the money, but this is her grace. When you see that huge wave, when you see that, that's her last breaths. That's what she's saying. That's her last breaths. And which is grace. Even her breath is grace. Even her breath is grace. Her breath is grace. So I don't want you guys to worry. You have to be, you can't get fooled in this moment. All of these things will be distractions. This is the time, guys, is going to be so tempting to protest. Either way, it's going to be so tempting to protest for your benefits, for the things that are taken away, and for the other people protesting in agreement with Trump. By the way, Trump is trying to take the Internal Revenue Service away, those unlawful taxes that we have to keep paying. And that's what the tariffs are for. But they don't tell you that's what the tariffs are because back in the 1800s, this is how we used to actually receive money. There was no such thing as income tax. So he's stopped the hiring of about 90,000 IRS agents. So I'm actually hoping that does go through because even if things are really expensive, at least you can choose what you choose to spend your money on. But I'm saying she doesn't want you guys to get fooled in this moment because on one end, we are our race, right? On one end, if your people are struggling, you have to be there to support them. But she doesn't want you to do that. She wants you to zone out and look at humanity as a whole, not just humanity. She wants us to look past the stars. Right? Remember, I always keep talking about taking that bird's eye view. What you can do in this moment is pray for grace. Because the ones who are out there destroying things, inciting violence, these things are going to be set up to see who will take the bait. She's not going to give her last breaths to anyone that will do anything at any time that will allow their emotions to lead them. This is also a trick. This is also, I don't want to call it a trick that she's doing, but she wants to see who's real. So what I'm saying is, in this moment, you want to pray for grace for your family and for your loved ones. You want to pray for protection. That quilt, you ever seen those quilts with the patches? No, that's the grace from source. That's where they get those quilts from. That's natural spiritual protection. She quilts every single soul their own specialized blankie, their own quilt. This is a mother's love. This is a mother's love. And it has everything that pertains to you on there. She crafts it. She says she minds for us. She's mined for us. She didn't just pick anybody. Not anyone will be getting the grace. See what I'm saying? And in this season, it's going to be very easy for you to go and lose it. So she wants us to stay aware. She wants us to be aware, guys, in this moment, so that we don't miss our grace, because this is the final finale. There is no more old earth. It's gone. The only thing that's going to be left is her grace. And this grace, when we transition from this life, we will be basically standing in for her as grace. We won't be the grace like her, but we will be bits and pieces of remembrance of grace. And the ones that come after us, they will only know her through us. They will only know grace through us. And so when I talk about, she talks about him immortalizing himself on a coin of sorts, it's actually going to be good for the people that are being affected right now. It's actually going to be good. See, guys, you don't even have to get in your way, guys. If you trust source, if you know source, then you know that source always has a way of taking something that was meant to be negative and turning it into a positive. The only thing you must do is make sure you are on the right side of grace. Make sure you're on the right side of grace. Do not get tricked and fooled out of your blessing in this season. Hold the line. This is the year of completion. We're about to go back to one, back to oneness. So after we go to the next year, we're starting over at 1. 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. By the way, there's only numbers 1 through 9 here. And so that's her message. And you're going to see, even here on this channel and even within myself, you're going to see her grace in due time. There's more preparation, she's saying. Sometimes we get stalled, guys, in life because most of us don't know, especially if you're a light worker, especially if you're on this channel. We work for source in some capacity. We work for higher dimensional beings in some capacity. So until they are ready, you may get delayed. So because she's ready to rest, to take her rest, to take her final bow, she's ready, then a lot of us will be activated with her gifts. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to say. And don't look at everything that you see. Yeah, it's going to look crazy. It's going to look tyrannical. That's what I'm saying. She's already told me it's going to look like that. People are going to be protesting. But see, these are the people that are going to get grafted out. They're not going to get the grace. I'm not saying if you protest, you can protest, but the people who start doing violence and the people who start acting racist against different groups of people, that's the trick too. I know people are like, oh yeah, kick the migrants out, take their kids and all this and their dogs. And okay, you're just revealing what's on your heart. Remember, I told you this is why we have Trump. It's why we have Trump, because Trump is going to reveal what's been in people's heart all along. And in this final year of the 9, it's not the year to be caught slipping. It's not the year to be showing your what your truth, right? Because Mother Ethereal is watching. And she's gonna you're going to miss her grace. There is no more grace in the universe. There's no more grace. Just the ones that will get it now. We will be the only ones that will carry this forward. Yeah. So, guys, that's truly the message. There's some other things that she said. I have so many messages to the point where I like my client the other day was telling me, you need to write a book. You need to write a book about all your prophecies. And it's so funny because he was actually telling me about a prophecy he had about, I think it was XRP and H bar. And he actually, that same wave that I spoke about, he actually he actually saw that wave. And then I think it was the next day, or it could have been later that day when I did my spiritual bath and Mother Ethereal came through. I saw it. I saw the same wave. I saw the same wave. So something great is going to happen, guys. 4 months after the marches, after all the protest, after the springtime, then we're going to have 4 months. Those 4 months is going to be intense, guys. There's going to be a lot of loss, lots and lots of loss and pain. But I'm telling you, the ones who endure to the very end, they endure. When this wave of grace comes, and this is truly Mother Ethereal's, just her last breaths, as she breathes out the grace, we inhale it, and she dies. She dies. Quantum FX says you have plenty of XRP and H bar. Yes, well, hold on to that. And I'm going to come back because I've done a lot of sessions with him, and he always gets prophecies like in hypnosis, but he gets prophecies anytime. And I don't know, sometimes he watches. So hi, if you're watching. He did yeah, he told me I could mention his prophecies here on the channel. I'll have to, I know I have it written down somewhere, but he has a lot of them. So I'm gonna get those. And oh, I can tell you about this one though. So about the H bar and XRP. So one thing he did say was that I can't remember exactly what was happening, but basically he said that him and a friend, right, who's in crypto as well, were trying to go into a facility, a place, and they were met by a cop, right? And he did tell me that the world was kind of being destroyed. Like he was basically on a wave in an ocean. Like imagine a big wave, and there was a boat, and the boat was just floating. It was him and his friend that trades like crypto, right? And then he looked down and he saw a bunch of fire on the earth, right? Kind of what's going on right now, a bunch of fire on the earth. And then the next scene, they basically get ready to go into this establishment, and there's like some sort of security or like a cop or a security that meets them and like, hey, you can't come in here. And then him and his friend, they're like, what do you mean we can't come in here? We have XRP and H bar. And then all of a sudden the cop or the security guard was like, well, why didn't you say anything? Come on in. And basically, come on in and you're welcome because you have XRP and H bar, but basically keep the other people out. So these two coins, guys, is part of the wealth transfer, is part of the grace. When I mention these coins, this is not financial advice, but I mean, they really don't cost a lot of money. When I mention these things, it's because the only way we're truly going to actually get the wealth transfer is we have to actually invest in something. If you never invest in anything, yeah, maybe someone who has invested will give you some of theirs, but you should start doing that, because also to the crashes that are coming is a time for people that source wants to give the grace to, the prosperity to as well. It gives you time to get in. So you look up, XRP and H bar, right? Okay, you can purchase on Coinbase, you can purchase on Robinhood, you can purchase on, all these little wallets, although I don't really like them, but you can find it, you can purchase, right? And you have to give source something to bless, guys. You have to have something to bless. Oh, the other thing the source does say, you know how we're human beings. which actually we're just supposed to sit and kind of graze. We're just supposed to be. We're not supposed to be working and all that. That's even unlawful. We are supposed to have a work. We're supposed to have something that we do that comes from source that we provide to humanity. But the way they have it, that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We are supposed to be human beings, right? That was part of the experiment. What would it look like just to be? And somehow we just couldn't be. We just had to be in motion. But so what we are actually turning into when we receive the grace after this time period is over, Source calls it, we are turning into this grace is going to bring a light. So we talk about the golden age. There's a golden light that comes with the grace, right? And so this is why I keep talking about you're the quantum currency. When you're lined up with source, you're the quantum currency. So essentially, when you get the grace, which is a golden light, which is the golden age timeline, because that's what time you're going to be in, because you're going to be walking in that essence. They're calling this the light works from the cosmic sphere, the light works. So you are light. You now turn into a light. After the grace, we now become a light. We become a beacon of hope. We become a light. And light, what? Has codes to it. Lights have codes. Codes what? Give directions. Codes what? Codes are active. Codes give direction to now perform a certain function. So source is saying we will be transformed into the light works, not the human being just being and existing. This is when we truly get to work, is when we become light. So you ever see orbs of light? Not these orbs of light that are in the sky. I don't know what that is. That's not, I'm talking about a soul that is an orb of light. How they're always moving around because they're working. You're going to become the light works. And she keeps talking about how amazing it is to view it from the cosmic sphere. Like I said, they know the beginning, the end, and the middle of the movie. They're getting to watch us graduate into these orbs and now getting us to make our ascend into the spirit realm, becoming orbs that are now showing up around people, bringing them messages, healing them, all of those things. This is the true work. The work comes when you become the light, right? The denseness, you really can't get any work done in these dense bodies, right? So that's the one thing that she does want to say. So hi Masters Light. So I'm gonna read a few comments here. Thank you guys. My biggest problem is that I'm dealing with is they put a pain stimulator in my back and taking forever trying to get the pain out of my right leg. What a nightmare. I want off of the pain meds. Everybody, let's just pray and send love and the highest vibrational light to Quantum FX. Quantum FX wants to get off of the pain meds. You can also email me, guys, instructions number 4, humanity@gmail.com, if you want to book a healing session. We're going to send you some energy right now, positive vibrations, healing, loving vibrations. Love is the highest vibration, Quantum FX. The heart space is access to the upper rims of consciousness. The heart space is the seat of the brain. The heart meridian is the seat of the brain. So if all of the valves are open through your heart and through your heart meridians, right, then you have true connection with not only the brain, the physical brain, but to consciousness, to higher consciousness, to source. So guys, anytime you need healing, I want you to check your heart. Check your heart. If your heart is blocked, energetic blockages, it's cutting off circulation and energy from flowing to the entire body, right? We could heal so many things if we just work on the heart space daily. Okay. Thank you so much, Quantum FX. You're going to be fine. Where there's a will, there's a way. There's grace being handed out. And you can definitely be part of that. Tamara says, I'm ready. An orb of light. Love it. Yes, that's what we're going to be, guys. Margarita, I want to always work for the light. Me too. That's the only way to be. Tammy says, income tax is unconstitutional. Absolutely. Aw. The Turu was saying, don't cry. Oh, don't cry, my queen. Yeah, that hit me, guys. And I was bawling like a baby yesterday. And it's funny because we even though it was like it's weird. I have to call it a channel so that people can understand, but I don't really feel that it was a channel. I just feel that that's my mama and I talk to her, But I do know it was somewhat of a channel because I felt the energy shift. So it was anytime I can feel like a certain change in the energy field, then I'm like, I know that I'm about to receive the message, right? So if you want to call that a channel, you can. But yeah, so 100 billion years of work. It's a very impressive, and we complain about being here for 100 lifetimes, right? Or 5 lifetimes. But she's been doing this for 100 billion years and she's finally ready to rest. She's ready to rest and I'm like she's like, "Oh, I know you'll carry it forward." I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold on now. Wait. I'm not doing this for 100 billion years now." They like wait a minute, hold on. If I no, did I hope I didn't sign up for 100 billion years. I hope to God I did not sign up for 100 billion years. Lord, I hope I did not. Guys, so I keep saying the mission, it's never over, but we do rest. And so I always talk about this, and this is really truly for the great expansion. So, what is Mother Gotherial doing when she's resting? Well, she joins back into the collective consciousness. I always say when you join back into the collective consciousness, it's the most selfless thing you could ever do because you lose. We basically we think about you have data, right? You have a data chip that stores all of your data from all of your different lifetimes, right? Then you have to give that over. When she truly takes her last bow and takes her rest, she hands that over. All of that data she's been collecting, all of the pain, sweat, and tears, even her starting off at her very first lifetime, all of the lessons that she's learned, all of the souls that she's touched and that she's met, and that she's loved, and that she's protected, her babies, she gives that data over to the collective consciousness. It gets absorbed back into the one, the all. And this is how the great expansion occurs, guys. So this is what I keep talking about, these mega universal cycles. This is the great expansion. In order to have the great expansion, we have to come back into oneness with source. And all of that data from us, Mother Ethereal is taking that back to source for the great expansion to occur. And source is mathematical, remember. Source calculates everything. And what source cares about is expansion. And if source now needs to tweak the mathematical equation, then that's what happens. And then there is another, so to speak, big bang. So to speak, big bang. And we run the show all over again, but now on a higher level because we have more what? More data, more light codes, more consciousness. And we just evolve throughout the eons like this. And I'm wondering if one day will we all take the big rest and this will be no more. I have not been told that. From what it looks like is it feels as if Mother Ethereal and source particles like her, they take segments back. So she's taken back 100 billion years of data. Is this, guys, what do you think is going to happen when she takes back that 100 million years, billion years of data? Do you know what will happen over the next 5 years? We will enter a world that we truly have only seen in movies. The flying cars, right? All of that because of all of that data that she's about to take back. That's how we expand. So when you guys see all these things happening, the AIs coming to replace humans and all of that, in one regards, yes, it's true. But in the other regards, this is the evolution of man. We got to kind of let this thing roll. Just get your grace. As long as you have your grace, you now become God. That's what I'm saying. A God, not the God, not source, but you get to operate in your God status. So that's what she wants us to know. And yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. I'm gonna make this avatar do what I don't know. Master Slide. I think he's talking to someone. Oh, he said, I've only been here 100 times. Thank God for you. Mine is 14,422 lifetimes here on Earth. Um, but apparently there's more to do. Hopefully not here on Earth. This is my last lifetime here on Earth. So, but I did tell you guys before, I will actually be returning back to Earth at some point. I'm going to be the source of the inner earth beings in the future. So, as if everyone is going underground, this is why, guys, you have to let things play out because you know they're building all those bunkers underground and all of the storing all of that stuff underground. Well, in the future, guys, I think something will happen on the surface of the earth where we will permanently have to be underground and we will actually change forms. We will revert back to becoming Nagas again. We will look very different. It's like these snake-like creatures. It's what I saw. And I was a huge in this session I was doing a future life progression, guys. So if you also want to see what you're going to be doing in the future, I can do a future life progression. So instead of a past life regression, you can see what you're going to be doing in the future. You can also book a session with me, email instructions number 4, humanity@gmail.com. But I was a huge energy source. I was a purple blob of energy. And I came and I plopped down on New York City. Nothing there. New York City was basically just buildings and it was abandoned. There was no one on the surface of the earth. And then I was this blob of of purple energy and I kind of just found my way and slithered into the inner earth. And as I started to walk in the inner earth, there's all the inner earth beings and they started to part for me. And then I walked and then as they parted, and I've kind of just blobbed my way to the center and I just sat. And I just sat, probably for billions of years. No motion. I was only there providing energy. So if I stay still right now, and what I do is I send like sonar rays from my heart space and from my third eye, and it creates a flow of energy and it creates a healing space and vibration. That's all I was doing there. Nothing for forever. I don't know how long I'm going to be there doing that. So when such things happen to you guys, you have to zone out. I have to learn how to be single now. I have to learn how to be alone now because I was alone there for a very long time. And the only thing people came for is to take, to get energy. How selfless is that? I'm not there yet. That would make me pretty angry if that happened to me today. But we will get there. So we have to zone out and understand why there's such things, right? There, oh, and also too, I've said this before, there will be asteroids that are coming to hit the Earth. And that was another thing that I was doing in the future. I was actually a collection of asteroids. And four of my asteroids had missions assigned to them already. Two of them were headed towards Earth, and the other two were in waiting to come to Earth. So there will be asteroids that are coming to actually take part in the finale as well at some point. And yeah, so that's another aspect of myself that I'll be doing. So I'll be helping out doing that cleansing as well. I don't know when that will be. That could be a very long time for now. Very long time. Okay, I'm reading some comments. Oh, okay. So Angel says a few days ago, say, I heard something say my something will be complete in 15 days. It was like it was talking to me, but it is something happening mid-February. Oh, interesting. And then someone asked how far in the future. I think the asteroids is a very long time for now. From now. You have to understand, guys, we're going to always be here in some capacity. Energy never gets destroyed, it only transforms. So, as of I see at that time when I was an energy source, I was literally, there was no one on the surface of the earth. And when I got down to New York, it had looked abandoned for a very long time. And it was only like pieces of buildings left. It wasn't even the whole things, like no one was there, and they hadn't been there since forever. It's going to be a very long time. Not anything we're going to have to worry about. Although a few of my clients, three separate clients gave account on three separate occasions that they did see a bomb involving Russia coming roughly in the year of 2033. One said 2035, one said 2033, and one said 2032. Something did come from Russia that contaminated the waters on the Pacific Ocean. And then because people were, because the water, is in everything that we do, it's in the crops, it's in the fish, it just spread. And it really killed a lot of people here in the US, but it ricocheted and then the whole world. So what they sent over here to like take us out actually ended up affecting the whole world. So, but see, the guys, these are timelines. That's why I say you cannot worry. Just get your grace from source and you're going to be fine. That's it. Don't worry about no deportation, or don't worry about you getting laid off or fired from a job. Just keep your eye on source. Just get your grace, and that's all you're going to need. Like people like just need to zone out and just go back to good old-fashioned prayer. It still works. Prayer still works. Meditation works. These basic things, spiritual practices people have been doing for eons, they all still work. They all work. You do rituals, they work too. All of it works. All of it is energy. All of it is energy. So